not the summit to Yoyle Mountain.
See this flag?
Yes, I see much more of it than you do.
Listen up, Firey speaker box. You waited until the last possible moment to move the finish line from Yoyle Mountain to a place none of us knew existed. Cut the nonsense and get this in your brain if you even have one. To us as contestants, that's not acceptable because we've already put in the work of getting here, trusting you told us everything we needed to know going into the challenge. Firey speaker box. You lying scumbag weasel. What you just did is incredibly deceptive, and the only reasonable reaction to being treated this way is one of shock, disbelief, and unbridled rage, something I'm sure all of us are feeling right now. Listen carefully. Firey speaker box. The challenge was supposed to be simple. Get to the summit of Yoyle Mountain. When we agreed to your game, that's what we were agreeing to. We thought we knew what we would be giving up and what we would be getting. A few days of travel in return for safety in the game. We climbed. We gave up our time. We watched the sky loop through entire days and nights while our legs kept moving ceaselessly. I must add, as they began to ache more and more. You putrid miscreant, you had to have known that there were ups and downs throughout the journey. Moments when we could only wonder, how much farther can I push? How much longer till the journey is done? And you waited till the moment our lungs finally stopped burning to announce a change that you could have told us from the beginning. Rules matter, Firey speaker box. A host runs a contest on clarity. Clarity keeps the rules real. Clarity keeps the struggle meaningful. And when you don't have clarity, everything crashes down. And all you really have is a pointless guessing game that wastes our time and leaves us wondering what your careless whims decide next. Firey speaker box. You vile cretin. You really made a show out of this cruel maneuver. You were nowhere to be seen until Tennis Ball had to ask where on earth you were. Meanwhile, we have been living inside your contest. We dragged ourselves through Yoyle Land, through every unimaginable setback, through glue and monsters, panic and problem solving, all because your finish line meant something. Can I tell you what this lie we lived was like? Pencil got stuck. There were times we had to make excruciating decisions just to keep moving forward. And we did all of that under pressure, with other teams closing in, where every second counts. Then we finally reach a flag that says Summit. A flag you knew existed. A flag you allowed us to trust. For one short breath, we celebrate. And you take that breath away with this bombshell you treat like a punchline. Now let's talk about the way you said it. Yes, I see it. And I see much more of it than you do. The gall to say that with such superiority, such ostentation, while we were the ones who put in the hard work. It was a choice. You could have just said the finish line is up there. You could have given us a map from the start. You could have respected the meaning of the word summit enough to not make it a complete prank. But no, you chose a path that none of us will ever forgive. That's where the anger comes from. Firey speaker box. It's the feeling of being strung along instead of guided. It comes from wondering how much knowledge you hid from us, and what you're still hiding. Most of all, it comes from realizing you saved your inaction, so you could savor our reaction. You enjoyed that scream, you misanthropic malefactor. You enjoyed it as our stomachs dropped and our cortisol spiked. Firey speaker box. We know you didn't come here to help. You came here for your sick kicks. Do you know what we gave up to get here? The freeze juice thrown, enemies thwarted, risks taken. We made ruthless decisions because your game demanded ruthlessness. And after all that, you snatched the finish line away with your voice and a laugh. That laugh won't be forgotten, Firey speaker box. Ha ha. As if our time is just comic material for you. As if the difference between winning and losing is just some sick joke. And hear this, FSB. When you call this tower much more of it, what Philistines do you make us out to be? We have eyes, you know. We can see how far that pole goes. You're talking about a tower that extends until the world turns to space, an obstacle course that by itself is a challenge and a half. Firey speaker box. That's a literal second contest you piled on top of us, with no warning whatsoever. But that deceptive act isn't even the half of it. Words carry weight. When we say summit, that means one thing only: the peak of a mountain. It doesn't take a geologist to know a building is not that. A tower bolted to a mountain? That's something else entirely, Firey speaker box. You played fast and loose with those concepts. Yet you acted offended that we believed what you said. We can climb your tower. We will climb your tower. That part is easy to promise, since we've already proven we keep moving, even when the world makes no sense. Firey speaker box. The part you should worry about is what happens after this. What tides befall us next? Listen. In a contest, trust is currency. Your rules spend it. Your announcements spend it. And your ha-has, they burn it fast. Once that trust runs thin, every future instruction turns to static. Every finish line becomes just a rumor. Every I am here lands like background noise, and not authority. So hear me clearly, Firey speaker box. Be honest. Give us the full truth before you ask us to pay with our time. Earn the scream. Earn the celebration, and earn the word summit, because without that trust, your currency as a host becomes null and void. You want to know what your cruel stunt teaches us? It teaches us that you're not a host at all. You're an opportunist. You saw our effort, our drive, and to you that was a resource to extract, because we had what you don't. Mine at night or at day, it sends the same message. You saw our exhaustion, and to you that was another prop, an asset in the background of a play that was all about you. And that's the part that makes me sick. Firey speaker box. Not the tower, not even the distance. Where you disgust me most is the arrogance. The idea that you can appear after days of struggle and talk down to us, like we're the foolish ones who misread the sign. You didn't correct us. You didn't clarify. You ambushed us with information you hid, and then chuckled like you were proud of your own cruelty. Do you know what a competent host would have done? A competent host would have told us, the summit is just the first half. You also have to climb the tower. A competent host would have placed the terms where they belong, at the start, where contestants can actually make an informed choice. Who knows? They might have even agreed to it, but you didn't. It would have taken a few seconds to inform us, yet you couldn't even muster that. Instead, you disappeared. You left us to improvise a journey you designed to grind people down. You left us to claw over whatever the world threw at us, and the only reason we survived is because we refused to give up. You want to take credit for that resilience? Don't you dare. We survived despite you. Firey speaker box. You are no host at all. You are not neutral. You are not merely the announcer. You are an active participant in our suffering. And if you keep proving that you can't be trusted with power, then you shouldn't be surprised when people start treating you like the obstacle you are. So once again, here's what happens next. We climb the tower. We do your obstacle course. We jump through your petty little hoops. We'll do it because we're stubborn, because we are capable, because we've already committed far too much to stop. But the meaning of it, the faith in the game, that's gone. And don't you misunderstand me, Firey speaker box. I'm not threatening you. This is a diagnosis. For the sake of the team, for my own sense of right and wrong, I'm doing what I have to, and describing the condition you've put this contest in. You're free to talk. Announce whatever vapid rules you decide next. But from this moment forth, we will hear it differently. We will weigh each and every word, because we can only assume every sign you've planted points somewhere you forgot to mention. Firey speaker box, hear me now. If you insist on running things this way, if you keep treating the rules like a privilege instead of a right, then don't be shocked when the contestants stop playing along with the performance. Don't be shocked when your announcements shrink into the void of the cosmos with reckless abandon, because a host who burns trust runs bankrupt eventually. And when you run out of currency, Firey speaker box, all you have left is noise. That's what happens. Your futile words devolve to static, and we stop listening. Good luck hosting that. Also,
Oh my word!